Meow, 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 everybody, I'm Cantonese Cat. Hey everyone, Cantonese Cat here. I'm not gonna spend time to type out all these charts what I'm seeing here individually. I'm just gonna go make a longer video, talk about all the altcoins that I'm seeing, all the way from Ethereum, Doge, ShibaInu, Cardano, Link. I'm going to talk about all of them as far as I can go, right? Until my voice gets exhausted. Monthly chart of Ethereum. First thing I'm just going to pull up here. Forget all this. First thing I'm going to pull up here is the Ichimoku cloud. What you're going to see here is on the monthly, it's been a very, very obvious move that it's doing. It broke above the Ichimoku cloud, went a little bit, overextended away from it. It slides through it like it was nothing. And I really thought that it was really, really strange that we can just slice through Ichimoku cloud on the monthly like it's nothing. And sure enough, it ended up not going too far above, and back testing it so far this month in April, which is not a bad thing. This is actually a very constructive price action that you're seeing here. Back testing Ichimoku cloud after a breakout, basically flipping a previous resistance over here as support over here. This is very, very, very constructive. I actually feel very, very good about Ethereum because it's made that move right here. Now, could there be a possibility where Ethereum end up coming all the way back down here and test the bottom of the cloud? Would the market maker be so kind and give me some entries down here below 3,000 for longer? That would be great. I'm not sure if that's necessarily going to happen though. It did have a bullish tick and kitchen cross over here back in February. And when you have that, generally it tells you there's a lot more sustainable increase in price that could happen over the next 12 to 18 months. Last time we ended up doing that was really around here. When side price just kind of went sideways over here for quite some time, but you end up having a very nice tick and kitchen cross that carried price all the way up here for about a year and a half until it doesn't go up any further anymore. Over here, I think we might be seeing some very similar thing where price just kind of went sideways over here after we got the tick and kitchen cross over here. And we end up potentially, once things get going again, once you're able to set a pretty good back test over here, wherever it ends up landing, could it be over here in the Tankard? Could it be lower at the bottom of the cloud and where kitchen is located? Possibly, but once we're able to figure out, a lot of really nice back tests up here, price could potentially go up a lot higher as a result, whenever that's going to be. Another thing I want to show you is I don't want to pay for TradingView, sorry, I'm not sorry, but another thing I want to show you is the Black Hat Fund Indicator. We're at a very, very similar juncture over here where price just kind of went sideways, where we just had a tick and kitchen cross in terms of whale inflow here as well. Looks like whale inflow has been going on for quite some time, for about half a year over here, where price just kind of went sideways, consolidate over here before it made a very, very big explosive move after that. I think we're having a little bit of a very similar kind of look over here where price just kind of went sideways, had to back test what it had to back test, and then you end up having some pretty increasing inflow over here to potentially push price up a lot higher. I really like the fact that it's back testing the Ichimoku cloud. Right now, the top of the Ichimoku cloud on monthly is 2885. We're a little bit below that, but I think so far we're forming a little bit of a wick right here. Again, there's no guarantee it's going to be it. They could potentially go down a lot further. You can also go down all the way to, next level below would be around 25,000. That'd be kind of where it would be going if it has to go that low. But I do think that at this particular juncture, this looks very similar to this over here. In this giant green candle over here also happened in November of 2020. I keep talking about November 2020 because something big had happened here, and like small cap just went up like crazy, and a lot of liquidity was really blowing up and rotating from large caps over to small caps right around the candle over here. I really do think we see a lot of very similar structure over here. Could it end up going sideways for another month before explosion? Possibly, but I'm seeing a lot of similarities over here. We just had the bullish cross and prices are going sideways. So that's all for the Ichimoku cloud. That's all for the Black Hat oscillator. A couple other things to kind of show you. Not really a whole lot here, in terms of the weekly. It's not really doing a whole lot. I can show you the Ichimoku cloud, but it's not going to show you too much. You're going to see a bunch of really powerful breakout here above the Ichimoku cloud. And you're going to see that it's trying to backtest some of the weekly levels down here. It's backtesting a little bit of the Kijun down here, and it's finding support. Doesn't mean it's going to end up finding support of weekly Kijun and just keep going up. Not necessarily. Can it go down and crash down below the Kijun and find some other support down here? Possible. But there are a lot of supports here that you're kind of seeing that's trying to find some pretty decent ground to find support from. Another thing that's also very, very striking, this is basically doing what IWM is doing, the small cap index is doing. This is boomerang support band. It broke through about the boomerang support band, and right now it's kind of doing a little bit of a back test of that right here. And so far it looks like it's finding support right at the band. Doesn't mean that they're just going to keep going up from here, not necessarily, but you're finding some pretty decent support over here. It's basically doing the same thing that IWM is doing this past week. It's just slammed right into a rising boomerang support band. So I find that to be interesting in terms of the correlation in terms of what it's trying to do. It is very, very interesting to me. Another thing to also look at too. Another way I want to pull up is the RSI here. This is the weekly chart. What you're seeing here is that there is an increase in price up here, whereas you end up having a decrease in RSI over here. So basically what it means is that even the price has gone up a lot higher, the RSI end up being resetted right here, which means that there's a potential for RSI to continue to bump up and push price even higher. So this is a very, very nice hidden bullish divergence. Now, just because price has a hidden divergence, hidden bullish divergence, it just means that there was bullish momentum being built up. It doesn't mean the price is just going to end up going up from here, right? But there is a lot of these kind of bullish momentum that's already starting to build up. If price keeps on going down further and further, then the risk-reward ratio actually would even be better. Could price end up potentially going down to even touch the wick up here, or even some of the horizontal zone level up here around 2,500? I think there's always that possibility, right? Which is the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud that I was showing you. There's always that possibility to just kind of back test the bottom of the cloud. It can be excruciatingly painful for a lot of people, but that would actually still be pretty healthy price action. If that ends up happening, you're still going to end up having a, hidden bullish divergence down here. Like, that's still going to happen if it end up going to 2,500. So don't think that just because you have a hidden bullish divergence, price won't go down further. It can. But does it mean that it has to? No. Regardless, if it's end up doing that, I think that would be a very, very nice risk-reward level to consider, buying that. So that's Ethereum. I'm going to try to talk through a lot of the other coins here real quick. DogeCoin. Speeding through DogeCoin here monthly. I'm going to go through in speed. Oh, this is a weird look. This is the market cap. I'm going to go through the speed that you've never seen before. Right here, what are we doing here? Adam, Eve bottom, Adam and Eve bottom, and maybe Adam and Eve bottom over here, right? Break out, a little bit of back test here maybe. Break out of this neckline. I guess if it's Adam and Eve double bottom, it might be the waistline or the butt line, whatever you call it. I don't care. Break up out right now is just have a really, really nice back test over here this month so far. Could it go lower? Possibly. It doesn't have to, because it's got a really, really nice back test over here. Again, this is a monthly chart, right? So go pull up some of the other indicators here. Bollinger Band, right? Squeeze, expansion, right? I mean, we're starting to get a pretty nice expansion over here. Once we get an expansion, it can allow price to go up a lot higher. As a result, we just started to get a little bit of an expansion over here. So I expect, I anticipate those should continue to go a lot higher. You also start to get a little bit of an uptrending 20-month moving average over here, uptrending 20-month moving average over here, uptrending 20-month moving average over here, and guess what happens? Price end up exponentially go up a lot higher as a result from the past two cycles. So there's no reason to think that this cycle is going to be any different based on the way it looks, right? Squeezing on the Bollinger Band and uptrending 20-month moving average of price above the 20-month moving average generally means that price is going to go up a lot higher. And because of the squeeze right here, it just means a very, very impulsive move that could last potentially for another 6, 12, or even 18 months. Could be happening. Do I think that it's going to go up a lot higher like it did last cycle, where it just kind of went crazy? No, because right now Doge has already got a very big market cap. I don't think it's going to end up, just going all the way up like it. This just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? But that's kind of what I'm seeing. Another indicator I'm going to pull up here is to look at the Ichimoku cloud. If you look at the Ichimoku cloud, again, I keep talking about the Tenkan-Kijun cross. The Tenkan-Kijun cross has happened as of last month. It has happened based on this big giant green candle over here as of March of 2024. Over here, the candle also was a little bit green here, and I'm having a bullish cross around here around November 2020. A couple months later, you end up getting a big giant green candle right above, right? So right now we're kind of consolidating sideways, but we had a bullish cross and we had a little bit of back test of this horizontal zone. It's not the end of the world. It actually looks pretty decent to me, actually. If you look at a weekly Ichimoku cloud, I'm also going to tell you something very, very interesting here. What I was looking at for a very long time, even when prices kind of like ranging around here as it was forming the entire Adam ETH cycle, I was saying, hey, you know, price probably going to challenge the clouds, going to end up having a hard time breaking inside the cloud for quite some time. And when it ends up breaking inside, it could end up spending a couple months inside or maybe even longer until it breaks out. And when it breaks out, there's a potential for it to back test the cloud, or it doesn't have to. It can end up just back testing some of the Adam ETH breakout over here, which is kind of what it's doing right now. Right? The same thing happened last time. We have a breakout of the Adam ETH over here. When one should, it kind of trying to push inside Ichimoku cloud, is not able to do that until it does. Spend about 3 or 4 months inside Ichimoku cloud, finally decide to break above the cloud, back test it a little bit, and then break through. I mean, that's basically the same look that we have. Like, Doge is actually, dogs are like habitual animals, I guess. They don't like to do anything different. They just like to do what they're used to doing, which I'm okay. Like, this is actually great. If it ends up doing that, I could potentially make a lot of money from it. Not financial advice, right? I'm just basically showing you what I'm seeing. But so far, it seems to be pretty constructive price action, just because price kind of came back down and back test the horizontal zone, back test some of the weekly and Tenkan and Kijun levels over here, and also just because price is back testing some of the monthly Tenkan and Kijun prices over here, which was around like 14 cents or so. And just because it found support over here doesn't mean it's bearish. Actually, if anything, back testing support is bullish after a pretty significant breakout over here. So that's DogeCoin. I'm going to show you ShibaInu, which is a related coin here. Let's look at ShibaInu and see what it's doing. It's doing the exact same thing. It doesn't have a whole lot of history like it did before, but actually it ended up back testing this Adam ETH double bottom over here. Actually, I'm going to draw that a little bit lower, and I'm back testing this over here, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to back test it down all the way. It looks a little bit more bullish than Doge, doesn't it? I mean, like, I have to give it that. I did not expect ShibaInu to look a little bit more bullish than Doge, but it's also a little bit riskier. A couple of reasons why is because there's a potential for it to continue to back test down, no matter what the other crypto are doing, because it's a little bit overextended over here. The other thing that is really strange is that compared to ShibaInu compared to Doge is that it is broken down below the monthly Tenkan and Kijun. It did end up having a bullish Tenkan and Kijun cross on the month of March here as well, just like DogeCoin, but it ended up broken below both of these. It's trying to find support down below. I think it's trying to find support instead of doing the Adam ETH double bottom testing over here. Is trying to find support in some of the horizontal levels over here that have been previously spending some time over here before. But so far it's a little bit of a mixed bag. This breakout candle is very nice, but then you also end up breaking below the Tenkan and Kijun. So I don't know what to make of it. I have a little bit of position in it, but I don't really have like that big of a position in it. But it's just something kind of interesting to look at. I don't have a whole lot of price history to look at in terms of Bollinger Band, but you can see that there's a huge expansion. Price just simply got way outside Upper Bollinger Band on the monthly, and so far it's basically just kind of back testing it. Upper Bollinger Band tends to serve as a little bit of a magnet, right? So right now it kind of just is back testing a little bit. Most likely it's going to end up having a bullish continuation, but it's just a matter of time. It might end up consolidating, it might end up back testing some of the stuff down here. I don't know. But right now, price is inside Upper Bollinger Band, so there's no reason to think that it's like way far extended or anything like that. It's not looking bad, but I just don't have a position. If you look at the weekly Ichimoku cloud, I'm going to pull up the weekly Ichimoku cloud here. It's pretty apparent that it kind of broke inside the cloud, broke through the cloud, and after that thing just got really impulsive and it's forming a little bit of a bull flag over here. I don't know how far the bull flag is going to go down, but it's just basically forming a bull flag here. So it's not a bad look. Let's look at another altcoin that I personally do own. It was just Cardano ADA. What you're seeing here, very, very similar picture. I'm just going to pull back out to the monthly chart here. I'm going to show you there's a little bit of a Ichimoku cloud that's being formed right here, but the majority of the price has been happening prehistoric, I guess pre-Ichimoku cloud, but you still end up having a very nice indicator, which is the Tenkan and Kijun lines over here. What you're seeing here with the Tenkan and Kijun here is this. Usually during a bull market, the monthly Tenkan, which is the red line over here, turned from being resistance to support to push price up higher. Over here, it looks like it was kind of doing that, it served as resistance over here. Now it's been serving as support right now. It looks like the April, because of how bad this weekend has been, looks like it's kind of broken below support over here. But then so did this candle over here, like this big giant wick underneath right here. So I'm not entirely sure whether or not the month is still only halfway through. I'm not sure whether or not this end up going to be like a red candle that's just like that. It could end up just being a wick, and it could end up being closing, above the Tenkan here. Tenkan is still supposedly a support here. The month is still only halfway through, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. But so far, it did kind of break below the Tenkan over here, even though I expect this to be a relatively decent support because it's uprising, and because it's also found previous support in a very, very similar juncture over here. Now, it did not yet have a Tenkan Kijun bullish cross quite just yet, but I think if price end up going sideways like that for another couple of months, I think you're going to end up getting a bullish cross coming pretty soon. And when the bullish cross happen, there's a potential for it to just kind of push through up to the cloud and go beyond the skies here a little bit. But so far, we have to be patient. There's no reason to think it's not going to work out, but there's also no reason to think this is absolutely going to work out. I would really like to see how the month close. If the month is closing above the Tenkan, which is currently around 0.52 cents, I'm just going to call it 252 cents. It would be a very, very nice bullish development. If not, that's okay. It's only close above it, below it for 1 month. We'd like to have confirmation, so the next month is due potentially close above that. But right now we're a little bit in a pickle over here, and I'm going to show you this is kind of across all kinds of altcoins that you're seeing here. That is kind of broken down and taken here a little bit, but that's okay. Bollinger Band. Contraction, expansion, right? Contraction, expansion. Look at what it's doing right now. Look at what it's doing right now. It's just back tested a slightly positive rising 20-month moving average. This is a pretty constructive price action actually. And with Cardano, before it's like parabolic move up, generally what it does is, it has a little bit of like expansion of the Bollinger Band, and it followed by like some consolidation crap over here, just like the consolidation crap over here, followed by a little bit of a contraction because of the consolidation. Eventually, after this consolidation crap here is over, you end up having a lot of kind of the expansion over here for the parabolic bull trend for it to push up. There's no reason yet to think that it's not going to, because the majority of the time over the last 5 months is spent on the upper part of the Bollinger Band. It's just been consolidating sideways. It's making some pretty constructive price action that could potentially push up a little higher over the next 12 months or so. We'll see how this works out, but this is a very interesting look actually. To look at the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly can also give you some additional information. I like to look at the Ichimoku cloud on the weekly for these altcoins, because a lot of them, once they break through the weekly Ichimoku cloud, because you can see that it tends to serve as pretty bad resistance. Once it breaks through the Ichimoku cloud, that's when you think that, hey, some pretty bullish things could be happening. Right? Just like over here, once it breaks through the Ichimoku cloud, that's when you think like some pretty bullish things can happen. But even though you might be a little bit too super bullish over here, you end up getting burned, and the price ends up from like 15 cents going all the way down to like 7 cents, and you're like kind of hitting yourself. You're like, what the heck am I doing buying like this dinosaur coin that is done by Charles Hoskinson, who smokes cigar? Like what is going on? Just like over here, you end up buying it for like 80 cents, or 75 cents, and you end up having a price going all the way down to like 44 cents. Or even lower, like it was down to like maybe around like 40 cents at some point. So I can see that, very, very similar occurrences happening maybe here as opposed to over here. There's a lot of correlate between the two, and a lot of people are feeling a lot of pain. You might even be like calling this whole thing over here a bear flag, thing that's going to break down. But it's crypto. You forgot the fact that it's crypto, and it's probably going to end up going up higher because it just broke through the Ichimoku cloud. And that's kind of what happens with these kind of, altcoins. They're going to do their own thing, And what you're seeing here, though, is a very, very nice break of this resistance, just like it's a very nice break of this resistance over here. Right now, you're above the resistance. Could back test all the way back down here to like 33 cents before continuation. Possibly. I don't think so, though. What is it doing right now? I'm just going to get rid of the Ichimoku cloud. I'm going to show you exactly what it's doing right now. What it's doing right now is it has an Adam and Eve bottom over here, and right now it's going for a little bit of slam back test of the Adam and Eve breakout horizontal levels. Guess what happened last time? Guess what happened last time? You have a Adam and Eve double bottom over here, and you end up having a little bit of slam of this back test of this Adam and Eve breakout over here at the horizontal level, didn't it? So far, there's nothing really unexpected with this. Like, this is actually quite boring, if you ask me. Put up the boring support band. Initially, I thought that it was just going to find support and potentially kind of push up beyond that. So far, it didn't end up doing that, and it tricked me. You know, it tricked a lot of people too. It ended up just slam all the way back to horizontal zone again. Double testing this breakout. Great. If you're going to do that, you're going to do that. You're going to do what you're going to do. But the boring support band is still very, very much upward sloping. The 20-week moving average is still pointing up. So we'll see what happens here. I would not be surprised if this ultimately either becomes a wick, or you might end up having a lot of subsequent candle here that looks like a bear flag, but eventually break back above of it. We'll see what happens. That was Cardano. Where are we? 20 minutes in. Let's go for a couple other ones. Chainlink, everybody's favorite Chainlink. What is Chainlink doing? Monthly. It's just basically back testing some of the horizontal levels that was seen dating back around 2020 and 2021. Not the end of the world. Form a higher high. Right now, form a higher low. Consolidating here for close to like a year and a half. Have a pretty nice breakout, back testing it, so what? No biggie. A couple other indicators to look at, and let's look at the Ichimoku cloud here. Ooh, bullish cross of the Tenkan Kijun. It did kind of get below the Tenkan Kijun here for the month of April, but it's still early. By the end of April, depending on how things go, I mean, granted, it can keep on going down, 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 I don't know. But by the end of April, it could end up being a wick and end up closing above it. If it doesn't end up doing that, that's also not the end of the world. You did have a bullish cross here. It's just basically telling you that price action has been sufficiently powerful enough for you to potentially have a more sustainable bull trend moving forward. You end up having the price going back down to like 13 bucks, going down as far as like 11 something. But that's crypto for you. That's not, you know, anything unexpected. What we're seeing here is, in addition to the Ichimoku cloud, you can see the Bollinger Band. Bollinger Band is starting to contract a little bit because of how far it's consolidating, but the 20-month moving average is still nicely pointing up. And when you have a nice 20-month moving average pointing up like that, you can have a bull market that keeps on going and going and going and going and going for years. We have been consolidating over here for about a year and a half. Before that, it spent about a year and a half going down. A lot of bullish energy that's being built up here. I don't know how far it's going to go up, but right now, so far, I've just been back testing some of the horizontal zones over here. And it's not the end of the world. If you look at the weekly Ichimoku cloud, it's not going to tell you too much. Price broke above of this Ichimoku cloud on the weekly and went way far above, and right now it's just trying to find some support down here before its bullish continuation. How do I know this is a bull trend? Oh boy, how do I know this is a bull trend? Because 20 is about 50 is about 100 on the weekly moving averages. It's getting a little bit close to 50 moving average right here. The 50 moving average is around 11 and a half. It got close to testing it. It's upward sloping. It's going to find support somewhere around here. It's going to end up pushing higher. I don't really care. I do have a position in this. I don't really care about the short-term action because I think that the bull trend just recently started. Like, it's whenever you have a bull trend like that, it can last for years. Anyway, that's Chainlink. What's next? Oh man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. MATIC. MATIC. Looks a little bit like a distributive top, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't think that's what's gonna happen, but it's been extremely painful consolidation for a very long time. But I'm actually picking up a little bit something here just looking at it that's getting me a little bit more bullish on it. I'm seeing a little bit of a ascending triangle over here. And I'm seeing that the ascending triangle generally ends up breaking above once it's done because there's increase in demand and the supply over here has been about the same as being eaten up at these levels over here. So generally this is a relatively bullish pattern. But, you know, before you look at like, oh, this is like a bear market trend, you know, over here, looks like it's broken above. Oh, nope, just kidding, broke back below. Right now, it does look a little bit more like a symmetrical wedge over here if you include this point over here. But I think it's looking a little bit more like an ascending triangle, to be completely honest with you. It doesn't matter what I think. What is it going to do? Pull up the Ichimoku cloud here. What is it doing on the monthly? Not much information. It's just been kind of oscillating here for a very long time, except that it did have a bullish cross, but then price also slammed all the way back down, right? This is actually the market cap. This is actually the market cap over here. The free white soldier didn't work out well on the monthly, unfortunately. This is actually the actual... I'm stumbling, man. That's what happens when you try and make a bunch of videos just non-stop for like 40 minutes. These are my lines over here. What you're seeing here is MATIC. Not quite yet have a bullish cross on the Tenkan and Kijun. Unfortunately, if prices end up falling underneath this, you know, a little bit like a trend line over here, that's unfortunate. It is what it is. Sometimes these things happen, but it does look like, you know, there's a little bit of a ascending triangle look to it so far. We'll see what happens though. But that's the Ichimoku cloud. I was hoping that it would have a bullish cross, but it didn't end up doing that. If you look at the Bollinger Band, what you're going to end up seeing is a little bit of a sideways price action over here. And this actually looked a little bit like Tesla a few months ago. So we'll see. I have a position. It's not big. I'm probably just going to hold it. I'm not going to add. I'm just going to let it be. This is one of the major laggards, unfortunately. But I do think that there is going to be some bullish development on this coming up. However, before I am able to confirm that, I would like it to break through these weekly Ichimoku cloud above for good. It just hasn't really been able to do that, unfortunately. Down here on the last cycle, it did end up having a little bit of a similar look, you know, where price just trying to push through the Ichimoku cloud, just not able to do that for a very long time. Here, at least it tried to break above, and now it's kind of broken below. We'll see how the week closes. There's an entire possibility where it just ends up, you know, closing inside the Ichimoku cloud over here. You know, we'll see what happens. Like, I think it has to close inside like 67 cents for it to get back inside the Ichimoku cloud. So we'll see what happens. It might ultimately just end up being a little bit of a wick, breakthrough, back test the bottom of the cloud before continuation. This is not the end of the world, but there's a little bit of distributed top here, but it is what it is. That was MATIC. Let's talk about one that I do own, which is MultiVerse. Ticker symbol EGLD. Look at the monthly here. You can see a theme here. You know, initially I thought that the Tenkan was going to serve as support. It didn't end up breaking down the Tenkan, but that's okay. You know, it is what it is. You can't win all the time. The other thing you want to look at is the Bollinger Band. Also has a very similar look to MATIC. It's just kind of basically going sideways over here a little bit, but it did look like it potentially could be having a little bit of a trend change over here until this big giant, you know, bad candle comes. I do want to see potentially it was able to close back above around 43 for the end of April. We'll see if that happens or not. But so far, this is a pretty destructive candle over here. And I'm going to show you, like it broke down below the 20-month moving average. It also broke down below the Tenkan of the Ichimoku cloud. There's a little bit of a bearish appearance here, but it is what it is. I don't really have a whole lot to show. You'd be talking about the weekly Ichimoku. It broke back above. I was hoping it would stay above it and maybe even back test the top of the cloud. It's not the end of the world. But right now it's just kind of broke back inside the cloud. We'll see whether or not it's able to break out of it. We'll see whether or not the week's candle is going to close on the top of the cloud right here, which is going to be closer to about, man, I can't even read the numbers over here. It's about 43. I think it has to break about 43 to kind of close on top of the Ichimoku cloud right here. And to say that it's basically just back testing it is, it's not breaking down. But yeah, it's absolutely incredible how far these things just fall whenever it wants to fall. Cartesi, one of the ones that I own, I'll show you the kind of destruction that it's been getting. I've been buying throughout this whole, double bottom over here. You would think that it broke about this double bottom level around here, around like 23, 25 or so. You'd think that it's going to back test the top of the cloud after it broke above, right? Top of clouds are on like, 23, 25 cents or so. No, it ended up all the way going back to the bottom of the cloud. On the weekly, like it pushed all the way back to the bottom of the cloud over here. And literally like almost touched the bottom of the cloud over here, which is around like 15.6 cents. And yeah, found support, great. Now it's bounced up. Who knows, who knows what next week is going to do, potentially back test this again. Or it doesn't have to. Once it's inside the cloud, it might flow around the cloud here a little bit. But as far as I'm concerned, this could still be kind of what it's doing over here, where it just kind of pushed inside the cloud. And this is just a little bit like a false, breakout, if you will, falling out of the cloud anyway. Eventually able to finally work through the cloud and break back above. Now it's just kind of having a little bit of a false breakdown inside the cloud. Kind of very similar to what happened over here. And we might end up going up from here. We'll see. I don't know, though. Now, look at the monthly. Initially, I was hoping that, it's just going to squeeze between the Tenkan and the Kijun. This one ended up getting rejected from the Kijun and just ended up slapping all the way down below the Tenkan. We lost the Tenkan so far. And it is what it is. Right now, the Tenkan is at around 28 cents. You might end up having some additional consolidation around here, but you might end up having a little bit of a bullish cross here soon, maybe over the next couple months or so, regardless of what the price action is over here. So maybe a little bit more bullish development happening over here. If you look at the 20-month moving average, a very interesting thing over here, right? It's just kind of back testing, and 20 moving average is pointing up. So far, it's looking like it's kind of finding support around here. The 20 moving average is 17.7 cents. And right now it looks like it's bouncing from it. That's some pretty decent bullish development. You also have a little bit of bullish expansion, but because of this consolidation over here, having a little bit of contraction, which is fine. It still looks like it's trying to develop a bull trend though, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. No biggie. I'll take it. It's okay. I'll keep holding. I'm not going to buy more though. Another thing to look at is another one that I also have a small position on is COTI. COTI, what are you doing? COTI, what are you doing? COTI is basically back testing this horizontal zone of breakout over here. You see another little nice, Adam and Eve bottom over here. Breakout, back test. That's exactly what it's doing. I can't blame it for doing that. Does it end up having to do that? No. Sometimes with these kind of crypto, they can have these big giant breakout and they just keep going. Are we at the part of the cycle where we're able to have that? Not quite just yet. I think we're at a part of the cycle where some brutal correction is happening, but that's okay. This is the monthly chart. Look at the Ichimoku cloud over here. Very same thing, right? Initially, I was hoping the Tenkan would hold with the red line over here, and no, then it's just breaking down and then back testing this area down here. It is what it is. It got rejected at the Kijun over here. A lot of altcoins are doing the same thing, and that's just the nature of the beast. There's no problem because it is forming higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. It's a bull trend. Looking at the Bollinger Support Band, not Bollinger Support Band, looking at the Bollinger Bands over here, tell me the same thing. 20-minute moving average crawling up, Had a trend change over here since January 2024. It's crawling up though. Looks like there's a little bit of bullish expansion. Looks like things can go up higher, but it's just consolidating sideways here a little bit. That's okay. Maybe a beginning of bull trend, kind of like how it is over here, although we don't yet have the 20-month moving average. But if it did happen, I can imagine that was just kind of, going up, and then go sideways over here. That's kind of what we're doing a little bit. The price is still above the, on the upper part of the Bollinger Band, above the 20-month moving average. I'm okay with this. I'll keep holding. I'm not going to buy more though, because I was buying, kind of like throughout this whole bottom down here, so I'm done buying. Jasmy! Very interesting coin. It doesn't want to break down yet. It's got a pretty strong price action here. Monthly, went way outside the upper Bollinger Band, back testing upper Bollinger Band here a little bit. 20-month moving average just nicely crawl up. I wouldn't be surprised just because I show you this, next thing you know, it's going to plummet down. Like, there's no guarantee, right? But so far, it's kind of just back testing up a Bollinger Band here, finding pretty nice support up here. After a nice breakout of this, Adam and Eve bottom here, if it was like all the other coins I was showing you, it could back test the horizontal over here, or you can even back test this rising 20-month moving average, and that would be a confluence between all that, right? It's not doing that. I don't know why it's not doing that. I'm just gonna show it and leave it to your interpretation. But it's got a nice bull trend building. If you look at the Ichimoku cloud, it's doing what the other altcoins were doing before they broke down, squeezing between the Tenkan and Kijun. I don't know what it's gonna do. We'll see. I'm holding. I'm not buying anymore. I've been buying like right around here. I'm not buying anymore. Right. Avalanche US dollar. What's Avalanche doing? Same story. Squeezing between the Tenkan and Kijun. Broke down below. But not too bad. It's finding support around this horizontal level right around here. Could it go lower into this level? Possibly. But right now it's finding some support right around this level over here with some price history. After a nice breakout, doing a little bit of a back test over horizontal zone right here. No biggie, okay? Now, if you look at the Bollinger Band, very nicely crawling up 20-month moving average. This is basically looking like IWM. Like, this is the identical chart to IWM here. Like, it's the exact same looking chart of IWM. So if you buy Avalanche, you might be, if you buy Avalanche, you might be buying IWM leverage right now. Very, very similar look to that. Looking good though. Nicely crawl up 20-month moving average going up. Although it did break below the Tenkan here a little bit, but that's okay. It did form a higher high here. Maybe you're trying to find a little bit of a higher low over here. Still a higher low compared to over here. It's okay. Not the end of the world. What about the weekly? Let's see what they've done in the weekly. Nice breakout the Ichimoku cloud. Not too much. It's just kind of floating above the cloud somewhere here. Nothing special. Okay, that was Avalanche. Solana USD. What is Solana doing? Solana is doing a back test of this horizontal zone right up here. Very, very nice back test, actually. This is pretty healthy price action. There's a zone over here where you saw there's some previous price history before, and there's some previous price history over here and here. And it's just doing a little bit of a nice back test over here. Like, this is pretty classic, no big deal. That was a weekly chart. This is the monthly chart. Let's post on the indicators, show you what it's doing. Bullish cross, finding support in the Tenkan and Kijun. Probably end up going higher from here after it's done consolidating. Bollinger Band, got outside up a Bollinger Band, just going sideways down here, back inside Bollinger Band, back test the horizontal zone over here. This is a pretty healthy look actually compared to a lot of the other coins I was showing you. The Ichimoku cloud on a weekly is not going to show you anything. I mean, like, it's just so far beyond now. I guess it back tests the weekly Kijun here and found some support here, but it's just not going to show you anything. I mean, this is a pretty obvious bull trend. So, but the price action is pretty constructive. And that's Solana. What's next? One that is a lot of people's favorites, and this thing has just been going up like parabolic. And right now it looks like it's just kind of back testing this wick up here, and it's finding support. I don't even know like what the indicators are going to show you. Like this is already kind of way too far around here. If you pull up the Ichimoku cloud though, is it overextended? No, it's just back tested occasion at the Tenkan occasion. You had a nice bullish crossover here 3 months ago, and right now it's just back testing it over here. Is it overextended on the monthly Ichimoku cloud analysis? No, it just looks like it is, but it's not. If you look at the Bollinger Band, what is it doing? It just got way outside of the Bollinger Band and just kind of pulled back down here a little bit. Try and get back closer to the upper Bollinger Band here. That's all it's doing. Pretty healthy consolidation. It doesn't care about Iran. That was FET. Let's talk about one that I get requested to talk about a lot, which is CurveDAO token. And unfortunately, it's not ready yet. Because you look at the Bollinger Band on the monthly, 20-month moving average is pointing downwards. You got rejected from it, which is not surprising because the monthly moving average is pointing down, which is going to serve as still pretty significant resistance down here. If you look at the Ichimoku cloud on the monthly, looks like it's trying to break above of it, above on the Tenkan here, not able to hold above. What ends up happening? Significant drop down. It's okay. I mean, it's not ready yet. The Tenkan is pointing down, so it's probably not going to serve as pretty decent support quite just yet. But it's just kind of going sideways over here for quite some time. It is forming a little bit of like a Adam and Eve look to it though. But so far it's not looking like it's ready yet. Weekly, you can see that it got inside the Ichimoku cloud. You would hope that it would stay in. It didn't. It just fell outside of it again. So it's probably going to end up going sideways consolidation, little sin consolidation. It's going to have to end up, back testing the cloud back, and it's going to end up, having to push through it before it can really turn bullish. But it's not doing that quite just yet, and that's unfortunate for CRV token. I have a few more small caps over here. I can show you a couple that I do own. I'm getting a little bit tired, but I'm just going to go for this because I really don't want to type. So there's something called AMP. It's broken out of this nice wedge over here. And it's broken out and it's back testing the horizontal zone right here. Not surprising. Can it go down further and test on the horizontal zone back here? It absolutely can. It doesn't have to do that though. It's actually, this price action is actually not surprising at all. This is a weekly chart. You look at the Ichimoku cloud, it kind of getting close to the cloud again, but it had a very nice breakout. There's no reason to think this is like a bear trend because it's just forming a higher low over here. And it's got a very nice weekly Ichimoku cloud breakout. So I'm not really scared by this price action. I have a position. I'm just going to keep holding. The other thing to look at would be more of the monthly chart. If you look at the monthly chart, plus some of the indicators over here, 20-month moving average, pointing up, a little bit upsloping. We got way above the upper Bollinger Band, just correcting back inside, no biggie. What about the Ichimoku cloud here? Yeah, it's just like a lot of the other ones where it ended up, initially it broke above the Tenkan here, but ended up breaking down below again. It is what it is, right? I can keep going, but it's already over 40 minutes. I think these are probably the majority of the altcoins that you guys are interested in looking at. The general theme is this. Initially, it looks like there's a little bit of a bullish breakout in the Tenkan for a lot of these altcoins, but it ended up breaking below, but it's no big deal. It still looks like a pretty decent bull trend is building, but it ends up, having some pretty, disgusting correction this month. This is the world of altcoins. A lot of them are still forming higher highs and higher lows. And I'm just going to leave it as that. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good one. Bye.